Hey y'all, thank you for your patience. It's been a long day.
Only need good vibes, good vibes, good vibes, good vibes. Only need good vibes, good vibes, good vibes, good vibes. Only need good vibes. Good vibes, good vibes. Good vibes, good vibes. I'm waiting so patient, I'm going places, can't fake it. My heart is so cold, my energy is contagious. All the pain, I can't take it. I'm staying grounded and grateful, cause I know everything that I've been through only made me. Yeah, I'm my best and daily, yet even I get shady. But I don't take it personal, the memories fading. I'm enjoying the moment, I've been smelling the roses, taking time to reflect, stepping back, the truth unfolding, unfolding. Running through the bruise, I'm at the blow. I've been in the booth, speaking to my soul. You know that I'm true. Let it go, let it go. Either way it goes, I cannot turn cold. Sitting on the low, I've been protecting my soul. If your intentions are not pure, I can't let you get too close. Cause I'm vibrating high, ain't got time for your ego. These niggas quit to turn me back. Acting like the amigos, he never cared in the show. Wasn't with you at your lows, assuming that you wanna go. But baby, I've been growing ever since I let you go. And I've been doing better, and I know that hurts to know. Hurts to know. Only good vibes around me, and that's for sure. Only good vibes, good vibes. Good vibes, good vibes. Only need good vibes, good vibes. Good vibes, good vibes. Only need good vibes. Can't lie. Only good vibes, good vibes. Good vibes, good vibes. You see me searching for my inner peace. I've been learning more about myself and my purpose. You've always come to the surface, was hurting, but I had to heal. Releasing all the pain that I always held. Been going through some changes, I make it still. Protecting my soul, keep it real. Only need good vibes, good vibes. Good vibes, good vibes. Only need good vibes, good vibes. Good vibes, good vibes. Only need good vibes. I can't lie. Only need good vibes, good vibes. Good vibes, good vibes. Only good, only good.
All right. I'm ready to go. Let's make it happen.
God is dawn. Like and subscribe. Comment some night. Love in this light. Here's God is dawn. God is dawn. God is dawn.
Peace, world, peace. Welcome or welcome back to God is Dawn Speaks. I am God is Dawn, the motherfucking warrior. And we are here live on this December 20th, 2020. Oops, my bad. That's how long I've turned this damn calendar. What is today's date? 22nd. Yes. 12/22/22. Go get a scratcher. But welcome. Well, welcome back. I want to thank at the top of this Conscious TV, because I see some of the crew have come back or have come over. But yeah, we're here. We're going to get into some things that happened at court today. As you probably know, I'm dead tired. But I'm not going to put that burden on you. I do it for you. You know what I'm saying? This is Verdict Watch, baby. Hey, Lil Red. So yeah, let's let me get into it. So if you were on Conscious TV earlier today when I was there, then you have heard this, because today there was no second half. Well, I have some more information, but it was not from inside the court. But I have update from some jury questions, but we'll get to that after I get into what happened in court today. I was gonna play Conscious TV's video and just call it a day, but for some reason I'm just not built like that. I can't do it. One day I will probably, but not today. So let's go. We started a little earlier than usual at 9:55 in the morning. This is day 9, and Judge Hereford is still presiding. TORY came in wearing a pale pink suit, as you probably have seen, with the white turtleneck and some Gucci loafers. He smelled really good too. And the whole family comes in, they're a whole vibe, I told y'all. But they are, looking at some serious time for TORY. TORY's looking at some time. I don't know how this is going to play out. Sounds to me, based on what happened at the end of court, leaving the courthouse and hearing, some things, I feel like there will be a verdict tomorrow. I feel like there will be at least one charge. Okay, but we'll get into that. Let's talk about today. So we were told by the judge that there would be a slight delay because a juror was running late. TORY's son and some other children that I hadn't seen before, a couple of other children other than his son, were in the courtroom with the family. I was actually sitting on the, you know what? I don't want to tell where I'm sitting because they might be listening. But nevertheless, I was sitting close enough and to see that the whole, it was a family affair. So now we're on the record. The defense is up to finish his closing. Let's put him on the screen. Let's see. How's everybody doing? I haven't even said hi. Let me say hi. Hey, beautiful spirit. Wow, Wayne, Michelle. So good to see y'all. Thank you for being here. Hey, Chrissy, Nisi fan. Apartments. Hey, welcome back. Hey, Sharita. Kino, thanks for coming back. Even though I missed something you were saying yesterday, I didn't see it till after, and I don't remember what you said, but whatever it was, you was wrong. So I need you to figure out what you were asking me yesterday or telling me yesterday so we can. Oh, you said something about Megan's text messages, that only Kelsey had text messages. That's not the case. There was evidence of text messages to Megan as well. FYI. Okay. Thomas Reese, hey, what's going on, King? Hey, Ray Ray, welcome back. Isis Last, good to see you. Let's see, Little Red, I think we're good. Hi, Elite Bell, welcome. Kim Riley, hi. Hi, Passion. Yeah, I'm right. That's right. Get used to it. I'm just playing. I'm definitely not always right. Okay, I'm not trying to fool nobody. I don't know where Miss Della is, to be honest. She'll probably catch the replay because it's late where she is. And she, we all work hard, but some of us, crash a little earlier than others. Okay. I see some comments. I feel like I need to, wait, hold on. What? You've been a juror several times with all the evidence you heard. No way he's guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. Well, you weren't in the courtroom. It's a different experience in the courtroom. That's why a lot of us showed up. Because we wanted to make sure we were bringing the actual facts. People are, assuming because some of these outlets are mainstream that they're 100%, that everything they say is facts. We don't have a clue what goes on behind their closed doors. We don't know who's paying them off. We don't know who they're in bed with. All I'm saying is that article that was put out, I think it was yesterday, by NBC they called out a lot of, bloggers. But at the end of the day, what they were doing was try to discredit new media because new media is winning, baby. The numbers, the attention, the engagement. These old traditional, media sources, they're dying out, in my opinion. And they mad. But anyway, yes, please hit the like button. Let me put my Cash App up. Thank you for the couple people who did send me something, child. I appreciate it. I think tomorrow's the last day, so hopefully it's the last day. So we'll be good to go after that. I can get back to business. Okay. So the defense is up to finish his closing. Half of the Okay, so what he says is, this is him. Oh yeah, I was looking for his picture. That's what I was doing, right? I'm like all over the place, child. I had a cartoon of him. Let me put that up. I have ran out of room back here, so it's telling me I have to delete something. Okay. All right. Half of the prosecution, 1 hour and 15 minutes, he quoted Megan. Did he really talk about the case? Did he talk about what happened? Who was where? What about Sean Kelly's testimony? Are you going to believe him saying 2 females were fighting? Or are you going to believe Megan? You're left in a position to speculate. He doesn't address Sean Kelly's version of what happened. What did Megan say? Has she been truthful about any of the facts? He said, why would Megan lie? I don't want to focus on that. I want to talk about Sean Kelly. I'm gonna stop because he said, why would Megan lie? He was repeating the prosecutor from yesterday. And mind you, this is his ending of his presentation of his argument, because he was up yesterday before we left. But yeah, so he's asking, well, why would what do you mean? Why would she lie? She lied about everything. Then he says he doesn't want to talk about that. Okay. He doesn't want to focus on that. He wants to talk about Sean Kelly. Now, why he wants to talk about Sean Kelly is beyond me, because in my opinion, Sean Kelly was not a good witness for his client. I really do feel that Sean Kelly should not have been called to the stand because he damaged his client with his testimony, I believe, in my opinion. So for him to bring him up in his argument to say, I need you to trust this man. Don't you believe this man? He's a witness. So that means you're basically saying he's a credible witness, and you're saying that we should listen to what he said. And what he said was your client had something in his hand. His arms were outstretched, and there was muzzle flash or muzzle shots or whatever the term is, and gunshots following. He put the gun in TORY's hand. He didn't say gun, and he claims to have not seen a gun, but he said something was in his hand. But let's go on. So yeah, he wants to focus on Sean Kelly. He said Megan spoke with Detective Stogner, who doesn't record because he doesn't have to. Sean said the muzzle flash came from Kelsey. Now, he's saying Kelsey's name. Obviously, we know that the witness didn't say Kelsey, but he's making his point. He is trying to hammer this thing home for his client as he's sitting there in the picture in his pink suit. I just noticed that, actually. Why they have him sitting so like with his toes pointed and all that? I don't even think he really, well, that's kind of a weird picture. She's a great artist, but okay, so Sean Kelly admitted the 2 women were fighting and there was a struggle over the gun. He said they were all fighting. He said the big guy separated the fight. The little guy gets out of the car and shot the... He said the little guy got out of the car and shot the gun. When did he ever say that before? He said never. It was this man, and then he points to the prosecutor, who said it. Kelly just adopted it. Megan was walking to the back of the car. That's what she said. Now it's the front of the car. You remember her IG post. Kelsey asked for immunity. I'm hopping around because he jumped on different topics. Again, this is the end of his argument. So he had already made his argument. If you missed that, it's in yesterday's live. But this is the end of it. So he's trying to make every point and hit every nail that's head is still sticking up. All right. Kelsey asked for immunity. I explained immunity to you. Why didn't they just give her transactional immunity and let her tell the truth? They said Kelsey was emotional, crying, and that she cared about her friend because she shot her. Why are they no longer friends? You think it's because of diss tracks and IG posts? No. Did you see Megan's team sitting on the back of the court or at the back of the court? Of course, everyone turns around to look. This was, I think he meant yesterday, though. There was a whole lot of people who I had never seen. I was like, who are all these people? I guess it was Rock Nation. Passing notes to the, they said they were passing notes to the prosecutor. Now, I didn't notice that. I was sitting in the front row. I did not notice one note passed. I don't know. I mean, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, he said, I want to touch on this bribe stuff. Did anybody besides Macon take the stand to say he bribed them? Let's talk about the investigation. The first day they did GSR on 3 people, they don't have the DNA results. Why did Megan take it? Why did they, what? Wait, hold on. Why did they take it from my client? Oh, why did they only take it from my client? Because he offered it? Because he's a celebrity? Why didn't they GSR Quan? Where is Quan? I have no burden in this case. The 2 independent witnesses in this case are Quan and Mr. Kelly. When he says I have no burden in this case, he followed that up with like, I didn't have to do an opening argument. We didn't have to. Basically, we could have just sat here and sat on our hands according to the law. But he is making a point that he decided to fight. Okay. He said the 2 independent witnesses in this case are Quan and Mr. Kelly. I called Mr. Kelly. Why didn't they call Quan? Or why didn't they call him? That's what they said first. Why didn't they call Mr. Kelly? Why didn't they call Quan? Let's talk about GSR. Yes, both Kelsey and my client had GSR. It's because my client was fighting with Kelsey for the gun. There it is. That's the theory. He said, if their theory is that my client shot over the door of the car and Sean Kelly said she was outside of the car, how did she get GSR? If my DNA expert was so unreliable, why did the court allow them? Where's my client's DNA? There's no evidence that the gun was wiped. If the gun was wiped, why is there DNA? And I'm going to address this because I'm going to probably forget. But I'm going to go back up to the DNA expert. If the DNA expert was so unreliable, why did the court allow them? The court allowed them because they had what seemed to be a reputable resume as far as how long they've been in business and all of the things they were associated with and all of this stuff. But at the end of the day, they're not accredited. They audit themselves. They aren't held accountable to anything. If their audits fail, then the instruction was to report it only to the guy that testified on the stand. I guess he owns the company. The court doesn't know this. All the court knows is, here, we have this DNA expert we're presenting. Here's the information. And what the court, they don't know. That's why they're on the stand, to get picked apart. And they got picked apart and scraped off the plate into the garbage can. All right. Where we at? So yeah, then he's talking about there's no evidence that the gun was wiped. Well, I swear I heard the prosecution say there were no lifts on the gun or no prints. And no evidence, that would be evidence. If the gun was wiped, he said, why is there DNA? DNA can't just be wiped off, right? You have to actually clean. They have cleaning kits for guns, don't they? You have to clean the gun with like solution or something. Like, I'm no expert, but I'm just saying, you can't just wipe off the gun. The DNA particles are very sticky and tricky. I'm just saying, it's not going to just wipe off like that. He just threw stuff out there. So far, that's all I'm seeing. Just throwing stuff out there, saying any old thing. He said, my client didn't even know the gun was there. My client jumped in the front seat after the fight. The gun was thrown there. Who said the gun was in the center console? He said, Kelsey said, my client said he was going to shoot her and then reached for the center console, but he didn't pull in a gun. He didn't do anything. If it's his gun and he's loading the gun and handling the gun, why is the DNA not there? Why is his DNA not on the magazine? Now, as far as the DNA not being on the gun, he's misrepresenting the evidence. The evidence is that it's inconclusive. So you cannot exclude him, but you also can't include him, but you can't exclude him. So there's just, hopefully the jury, can see through this, but meaning, he's trying to bamboozle and just twist all the stuff up and add to the confusion. This isn't helpful. He said, isn't there reasonable doubt? They did not do the DNA and they cannot make the comparison because they said my client was in the pool. Wait, did that really go like that? They can't make the comparison. Oh, yeah. Well, the reason they can't make the comparison is because they didn't have anyone else's DNA to compare it to. Now, that was a mistake. They definitely should have taken everyone's DNA and everyone should have been tested for GNR. The DNAs should have been I think they do a swab. All of that should have been done for everyone. They said my client was in the pool. Do they know how long he was in the pool? If he shot the gun 5 times, like they say, his DNA would have been there. Again, his DNA could very well be there. He has not been excluded from having DNA particles on the gun. The gun didn't belong to my client. So whose gun is it? Quan's? There's no proof of that. He said EJ was the most credible witness. He packed Megan's bag, not Kelsey's. He said to protect themselves, they have a taser, mace. He doesn't know what was in Kelsey's bag. Mr. Kelly said during the fighting, the female went back to the car. Why? To get the gun. Is there any evidence in this case that my client shot the gun? Everything they try to do is to dirty my client. They try to play on your emotions with Megan and try to make my client look like the bad guy. I mean, he is a defendant in a case with regards to shooting this woman. So he would be the bad guy in the scenario. All right, he goes on. Do you remember a long break before you heard from EJ? And then there was an objection. And then he changed it up. I talked to EJ. I think they objected again. But then he said, EJ is covering for Megan. Why didn't they call EJ? They're saying, why didn't they call EJ to the stand? My client doesn't handle his IG. This is his Instagram. This is to muddy the waters, to make my client look bad and Megan look good. The client didn't fight with Megan or Kelsey. He was trying to break them up. He tried to stop Kelsey. He tried to take the gun. He did not act willfully. He didn't fire the gun. So now they bring up count 3. Shooting a firearm in a gross negligent manner. There is no evidence that my client shot the gun. Flailing his arm, shooting the gun 4 to 5 times. There's no evidence that happened. Carrying a concealed weapon within a vehicle. There is zero evidence of this. He didn't have a gun. Quan was outside of the car, so how did he have the gun? EJ said, yeah, I've seen that, what looked like a gun before. He only said that when you say look like a gun, don't tasers kind of look like guns nowadays? Don't they have a handle like a butt of a gun? Isn't it like kind of similar? So then he touches on Kylie's pool party. He said, oh, I'm sorry, wait a minute. This sounds like the prosecution. 5, 6. Yeah. Okay. Keep in mind the burden of proof. Keep in mind my challenges. The DA said, dance, bitch, which my client never said. Follow the law. The law is very clean. Follow the law. Follow your heart. Find my client not guilty on all counts. And there that went. And he was done. Okay, we're going to get into the prosecution's rebuttal. Let me just look and see what y'all are saying. Yes, new media for the win, baby. Where's my gong? Ebony Lovely, hello. Kelsey had a taser. Okay. You're welcome. Thank you for coming through. This is why I went to Rodney Reed's evidentiary hearing on the last day after reading updates on Twitter. Oh, wow. Yeah. This is the only way you get the truth is by being in the courtroom. Seriously. Yes, please like, share, subscribe. If you're in the replay, comment. Let me know you stopped by, please. Somebody said I need to pay a mod to timestamp my lives. Ow. Okay. I don't know. I think I could do that. Timestamp, but I would have to listen to it, which I don't do. So yeah, maybe I would need to pay. If anybody's interested in wanting to timestamp my lives, tell me what your price is and hit me up in the email. Okay, let's move on. Ebony said they pulled everything and anything out of the rabbit, except the rabbit pool water, to be exact, because there were. Yeah, it makes sense. Okay, so the prosecution is up for their rebuttal argument because, of course, they started off the arguments. Now, this time, the female DA, I think last name is Ta. I believe she took the lead on this. I don't know, and it's funny because Alex Bott, is it? The other DA, he seemed to be like a kid who got sat in the corner. It's like he was just sitting there. I mean, he still was interacting and all that. I just felt like they took it from him because there was probably criticism of his lack of fire, lack of oomph, punch, whatever you want to say. I think I called him milk toast. And then by the time he got towards the end, it turned into maybe French toast. But we need something with a little bite. What? Maybe some avocado toast with some what? I don't know. I don't know why I keep saying toast. I like toast though. I actually love toast. Let's see. All right, so the female attorney is the deputy district attorney is up at bat. She said, we agree that Megan's testimony is direct evidence. The defense about Megan's sex life. He name dropped the likes of Ben Simmons. Why? To play on his prejudices and biases. If a male was the victim, would they have talked about his sex life? No. You can't assume. You can't rely on prejudices. For the system to work, in this case, you have to be led by the evidence. The witness testimony and everything the judge says is evidence. Kylie's pool party. They had fun. They were flirting. The shooting didn't happen at Kylie Jenner's house. I'm going to say that one more time. The shooting did not happen at Kylie Jenner's house. When the DNA was taken, there was already a clear suspect. There was an objection there. It was overruled. EJ did not say he saw Megan or Kelsey at Kylie's house with a gun. She goes on to explain reasonable doubt, talks about the boys' club, read Megan's quote from testimony about how the men in the industry don't support her. It would have been easier for her to say that her best friend did it, but this is hard. If your gut is telling you it doesn't make sense, then throw it out. Now, who is Quan? Kelsey said he's the driver, the security, and all the roles. She mentioned him telling her money talks when they were released from jail. TORY attempted to bribe them with $1 million when the police were approaching. And whether or not he was actually on probation, it's the fact that he said it to her. It's not whether or not he's actually on probation, but he told her that for sympathy. The defense asked, who's the shooter? But he didn't ask her, did you shoot Megan? Because he knows the answer. Why is Kelsey, protecting TORY up there? His first jail call he's made, and he wanted to talk to Kelsey. If she was the shooter, why didn't he ask her, what happened? Why did you do this? Why did you, do what you did? Kelsey, she said, is a terrible liar. We've seen this. But they're trying to point her as some criminal mastermind. If she's covering for herself, not TORY, why didn't she call the police instead of texting Justin? Mr. Kelly was woken up and witnessed a chaotic scene. It's not exactly inconsistent with Megan and Kelsey's testimony. What Kelly says about Kelsey is different than what he says about TORY. He goes through some of Sean Kelly's testimony. I never saw, I just saw flashes. She explains why GSR is on both. And she said, it's in close proximity. Kelsey was not alone when the shooting happened. He did not see Kelsey shooting inside of the car. It's impossible. There's no casings, no bullet holes. What did he say about TORY? He never said he saw Kelsey holding an object. But he said TORY had something in his hands. Twice. Did you hear him say TORY's arms were outstretched? Twice. Never said that about Kelsey. When asked how many shots, he said 4 to 5 shots. Sean Kelly puts the gun in the defendant's hand, followed by muzzle shots. After that, there was a struggle over the gun. Right. Muzzle shots. Oh, he never said there was a struggle over the gun. You had 3 different witnesses in this case. Kelsey and Meg hate each other. Mr. Kelly doesn't know them, but they all say TORY shot the gun. Every time you fire a gun, it's gross negligence. He directed his torrent abuse at Kelsey. Meg is not a suspect, so it's either Quan, Kelsey, or TORY or TORY. They say this is a straightforward guilty verdict. They say this is a straightforward. I don't know why it says they say, but that's what I have. I think they were saying this is a straight. Oh yeah, because I was starting to write they say something and then I didn't catch it. So then this is a straightforward guilty verdicts. We don't have a smoking gun. It's just common sense. Kelsey was never in the front seat. TORY was the last person in that front seat. That's where the gun was found, in the front passenger seat floor underneath some papers. TORY was the last person in that front seat. The jail call. Now we're on to the jail call. TORY is the only one apologizing, not Kelsey. This is not about Megan or Kelsey. It's about TORY. The defendant had his ego bruised because Megan's career was bigger than his. Now, at this point, there was like an audible, like a reaction from his family side. She was more successful. She's more successful. She has he had a massive ego and didn't like being dismissed. He's guilty. TORY shot Megan, and your decision should reflect that. Thank you. And there it goes. So I'm going to, what time is it? All right. I'm going to drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and share their thoughts. I haven't seen Love Warrior. I don't know if she's here. Okay. So now everyone has had their say. Now at this point, the judge turns to the jury and lets them know they need to pick a foreman. He gave them some other little instructions. He told them, don't change your mind if others disagree after you reviewed all the exhibits, all the evidence. If you feel strongly about something, he's saying, like, don't just let somebody sway you a different way. Keep an open mind. Have an open discussion. Do not talk about the case with others. Only discuss with anyone but other jurors during deliberation. Do not go on social media or news sites or really the internet. If you have questions, I may have to talk to the attorneys first, so give me some time. Make your verdict without prejudice, because he's not testifying also. Now he addresses the alternate jurors. There's two. I think I misstated and said one time, but I swear he did. So I got it from him. But he lets the alternates know that, you're not to be in contact with the jurors unless you've been subbed in. So basically the alternates, after everything is over, they just have to sit quietly to themselves somewhere until the verdict is in, because they may need to sub in for somebody, but until then, they're on mute. Deputy sworn in to take charge of the jurors. So they swore this deputy in because it's going to be his job to make sure the jurors get from A to B safely and all of that. He said the jurors will be given exhibits for their deliberations. They'll be given a laptop so they can look at social media, etc. There are social media pieces of evidence, but I'm sure that is not, those pieces of evidence are probably pictures. I'm sure they can, but nevertheless, they're getting a laptop. He told them to keep deliberating unless they hear from them. He said you're on your own schedule when you take breaks, but don't deliberate unless everybody is present. Like if one person goes to the restroom or needs to go get water or whatever the case, then they have to basically take a break also. He asked them to be back in the morning by 9 or 9:30 a.m. Now he said, if you don't reach a verdict today, let me know if you want to take tomorrow off. Because he said Monday's a court holiday and they can just be back on Tuesday of next week. Since Christmas is Sunday, Monday's closed. So then there's a short sidebar. The jurors are escorted out. At this point, it's pretty much lunchtime. And the court is closed from 12 to 1:30. So they just probably went on to lunch after they went to wherever they're going to be deliberating. So let's see. he basically said stay close, like 30 minutes to an hour away, because when the verdict comes in, they're only going to hold, they're going to hold space, but just they're going to hold until the lawyers get there and all that. And I guess obviously TORY and his family, everybody needs to be in place, the press. So at this point, during deliberation, oh yeah, he let us know too that the courts are closed during the deliberation. So basically, we have to wait out in the hallway. So so we took a break, a lunch break. Most people went live. I went live on Conscious TV. Shout out to Conscious and Conscious crew. And at this point, so we just took a. I went to the park. There's a park next door. I just went over to the park, and my friend was there, so we were chopping it up. But my thing is, I didn't really want to stay around all day. I mean, at the same time, it's like, do you really want to have gone through all of these court session, trial sessions and not be there for the verdict? Like, because they break down the verdict and it's still a part of the trial. So with that being said, I did hang out. Now, by the time I got back upstairs to, where people were waiting, we did find out that the jurors had asked for a full of Sean Kelly's testimony. And at that point, I'm wondering, I'm like, there's no way they're going to be ready today because there's a lot of things to go through. And so we were waiting about 4:00. Well, we saw Tory's attorneys came into the hallway at about close to 4:00. So we were like, oh, maybe the verdict is about to be in. So they stood around for a little while, a few minutes, and then they came down the hallway where I was. I was actually sitting across from that guy, Mo. We've been talking about him. He's Mr. Spokesperson all of a sudden. Now he's the spokesperson for all the bloggers. Like, I saw all the cameras around him after court today. I'm like, why are they all around him like that? And I realized that this is being organized, in my opinion, by defense counsel. Defense counsel beeline to this guy. I don't know if they gave him a paper, but they definitely told him what the question was that the jury had. There was another question apparently, and it had to do with question was, what is the difference or the definitions between willful and with intent? So they want the definitions. They wanted them defined so they can decide, I guess, the difference, and if he, did a willful act or was it with intent, and what's the difference. So that was actually walking out, finding that out. So on top of that, so that was the end of the day, child. But on top of that, there was a little bit of drama in the court with a couple of YouTubers, a little arguing. I'm gonna talk about this on my member channel this weekend because it's too much. But I am happy to say that the two YouTubers who had their little spat did end up making up. But it was actually nice to watch because a lot of times in life, things have to break all the way down before you can really build something. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes things aren't really working or aren't connected properly, and there has to be what's called a tower moment, and that's when everything just kind of like burns down. It cracks all the way up. Like it's everything's messed up. But at this point, this is when you rebuild. This is when you create. So for me to see that happen in that one day, like it seemed to happen like over the day, they were like best friends by the end of the day. But I'm going to talk about that. I talked about some of it on Conscious channel today. So if you want to know who they were, you got to go to the beginning of the live from today at 12 noon Pacific. But otherwise, I'm going to be on my member channel this weekend. I see you, Love Warrior, behind the scenes. Did you realize? I don't know if you realized you were typing in the private chat earlier. NJCB, welcome. Oh, thank you so much. You're welcome too. Hey, Love Warrior. Your mute is on. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. Hey, goddess.
It's all good.
Hey. Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I made it. I got caught in the rain, but I'm here. It's a little chilly, but I'm here and I'm so excited. I did catch your update early today, and that was awesome. Y'all were
Oh,
having a good old time. Yes, that was
always.
great. Hey, warriors, chat, everyone. So glad to get the real, the real. I got a question though.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had went over the charges, right? Those three charges,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the charges, I guess, did you hear? Because I just caught this like the last few minutes before I was left work. Did you hear about something about they had a question, the jury did, and but they're not, the judge isn't going to answer it until tomorrow.
I just told you what the question was.
Oh, okay. I probably missed it when I was backstage. I'm sorry.
Oh, you
Was
didn't hear
it?
me when you were backstage? I thought you could hear backstage.
I was typing in the chat, but I
Oh,
guess nobody saw. I was saying hi to people,
you were in the
but I guess
private
I was
chat,
typing
love.
in the I'm so sorry.
It's all good.
Um,
It's all good.
okay.
But the question was willful, I believe. This is what I was told. 'Cause I
Yes.
actually overheard. So this is what I was saying. I guess you missed this. I was sitting in the
Okay.
hallway across from Mo, the East Indian. I think they said he was,
Right. Lawyers for work. Yeah.
employment attorney. Let's just put that out there. I
Hush.
mean, honestly, it's nothing to laugh at because that's a career. But I'm just saying, like, he's not a criminal attorney, so
Well,
he's a
that's what I thought. I'm sorry. No, that's good. And I did, for some reason, thought, with his commentary that he was a criminal defense attorney. So I'm just surprised to hear that it's not. But
yeah.
yes, ma'am.
So the lawyers, all of them, beeline to him at the end of the hall where I was. I was charging my phone, talking to somebody. But anyway, he was right across the hall. So they come with their paper in their hand to tell him what the other question that was. I heard them say it, and then they seemed like they were happy about it. I guess for them, they felt like maybe it was good for them because I know the question with regard to them wanting to have the read back of Sean Kelly's testimony. Someone posted, I don't remember who it was now. There was a post about it saying that this is a sign that they may be considering the top charge for him, the assault charge.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's the case. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know how to interpret that, but I'm just saying what was put out there. I don't know if it's true. There's a lot of lies out there.
Hmm.
Um, I have a story too about something. So there was a false headline was out there that he was it not guilty? There was a
No,
head.
they dropped the copy of the jury instruction. Somebody left it in the hallway, and people posted it, and that's what
That's
they were
that's
getting.
that's actually not what happened. No one left it in the hallway. This was like so
Well,
basically.
there you go. There's your false rumor then, because that's
Well,
kind of
I
how it
mean,
was perceived on Twitter. That's how
to be
well, anyway, that's how I read
but that's
one
what I'm
person.
saying. Like that's what I'm saying.
Hmm.
Don't when you read these things, because you're telling when you tell it to me, you're so 100%. Just know that.
No, I'm not 100%. I'm not.
No,
I'm
I'm just
listening
saying
to
you
you
were
to
like,
get the
well,
100%.
no,
I'm
I'm
not.
just
I'm just
saying.
commenting on what I read.
No, I'm just saying because
But
you're like,
when I
did
hear
you hear
you,
that? No, because I'm just saying the way you say it is very
well,
definitive. Like,
that's
did
how
you
I
hear?
felt.
Well, did you hear they left somebody left the jury instruction in the hallway and da da da. So all I'm saying is more so question it
Well,
rather
that
than
wasn't my question, but yeah, but
what's
that's
the
not the
question?
question I had. But go ahead and tell us. So,
What's your
so that
question?
wasn't what happened. No, no, I want you to finish this up about
No,
the
I
jury
mean
instruction.
someone got a hold of it. I mean, I think they got it from the clerk, but
Hmm.
they took people took pictures of it, and someone's platform decided to go ahead and run with it when it wasn't nothing wrong with it.
Mm.
And it was the same platform that took a picture of the jury when they had the other person banned. Now this
Oh
person,
no.
hopefully this person doesn't get banned because she's actually legit. Like they actually bamboozled. Like she sent it to them so they could see, but they put it out there. And next thing you know, there were all these headlines. So
Mm, mm, mm.
it
That's
wasn't
not
her.
good.
intent for them. She didn't probably even know they were going to do that. I don't think, because she's not that person at
Right.
all. So,
And so her name was on it, like, or the when she posted it, the one person that she sent it to basically used that information, and it's not a good look for the person that posted it, the site that posted it. And if it was done privately, it shouldn't have been used like that.
well, she is working for them. They're paying her to do this. So she's been covering
Oh,
this, I think, since, ever since she picked it up after that last person got banned. So probably since I've been there, since last Monday. But she's like a very accomplished, like, I'm upset for her, because when I heard about it, I wasn't there when all this was going on. I was live, I think, with Conscious at the time, or either I was done. And so I was, okay. So Neek at Night had asked, did I want to go live? And did me and Jasmine, who was with me, and I was about to go live on Conscious. I said, I'll just join you guys. But they ended up having to go. They went to the media room. I went to the floor with the media. They call it the media room. It's just an empty hallway. But she texted me that they were there. But then they were there, but there was like 3 chairs. I mean, it was just a really small, and they were already in motion. So I was like, let me go. I don't want to disturb this. So then that's when I left. I went to the park, and my friend was there, and we were chilling, and I did not want to go back. I was like, this is so nice. It was a nice outside today. And I think because it's Christmas coming up on Sunday, happy holidays, everybody, that
happy holidays, yes.
the streets were almost empty. I'm like, isn't this downtown LA? Because usually it's hustle and bustle. But I realized it's the holidays. People take off, take vacation. The end
Yep,
of the week, they're gone. So that's
yep.
why it was like that. But it's just a trip that the jury decided they didn't want to take Friday off. They want to come in on Friday. Then I feel like they're going to make their decision tomorrow.
That's
Um,
awesome. They're working. They're working. Shout out to the jury.
yeah,
They
because
working.
the judge said
They don't want to carry this into their holiday. They
exactly.
working.
He said that
That's good.
if they didn't come back on Friday, they would be back on Tuesday, because the court's closed on Monday. So they said, nah, we
Hmm.
don't want to do that. Let's just tough it out and come in tomorrow.
Right,
So that's what we're doing. I'm back tomorrow as well. I will be there,
right.
and I'm gonna, just hope that it doesn't take all day. But
Well, we gonna be on the lookout for the update. Whatever you hear, just send it out so we can just my notifications been on, and I'm having my phone by me because I can't wait.
we finally here. It's crazy.
Questions, decision, whatever. I want to know.
Yeah, Jay
I
said
want to
yes. They
know.
said it was not guilty. That's what I thought. And that's the thing. So when okay, so this platform, they are, so I saw they did a live during the jury instruction week. And that was a live where the lady who was there for them in the court came on, and she talked about some things. I think his ankle monitor had been removed. They cheered for that. That was telling me something. I'm like, oh, they're cheering for Tory. Okay. Then, I heard the lady say how, it's protect black women, but it's also protect black men, and why this, and like questioning why we should believe Megan and that type of thing. And I was like, okay, I don't know. But then when the lady said, after she bragged about being a seasoned reporter, said that she was banned because she took a picture of the jury. You can't take a picture of the jury. Even if
Oh my God.
she said it was the backs of their backs. Like, it
She could
doesn't
be
have.
arrested for that.
Well, the judge called her in after the break, or whatever. The judge called her up, child, because they posted it right when she sent it to her people, which is the same people this other thing just happened with today, with this fake false headline. So that's just something. And also, this goes on top of the whole NBC article that came out yesterday trying to discredit, new media using these particular bloggers to do so.
Yeah,
Let
that
me
was a
say
real
this.
haterade opinion. It wasn't really even news. It was very biased, haterade, jealous of the freedoms. Okay, freedom, reach, voice, and noise that the new media, the new black media, yes, you know. So when you have to report and you're in the confines of,
a corporation and stuff, you don't have those freedoms. So very much jealous of that. And the hater raid of that article was very biased and more of opinion than news. It's sad that that exists. We know it does. But the more you shine down there, all of you that are down there, you got us, and the rest of the content creators, media personnel, and new media, we appreciate and love you. That's why we follow you, because we want the unfiltered. We want it. So when our people
Yeah.
talking to us, you
Well,
know,
they're using these type of things though that happen like this with this headline to, this is how they say, look, you can't even trust these people. Look what they do. They have no, just like the lab from the defense. They're not accredited. They don't have this. They don't have that. They don't have oversight. You know what I mean? So that's
yeah, so they're just trying to insinuate something to say that. And it pretty much is a sad state of affairs because when they have to go to that level to try to diminish, it makes you shine that much more. They gave y'all shine, okay? They gave y'all attention.
And the thing
So
is, like I said, we don't know who's paying them. They mess up stories. They twist stories and narratives all the time. I've seen
exactly.
I've seen things from this particular trial that these supposed reputable reporters are writing up this stuff off of being in the courtroom. Yet I'm seeing things that like didn't happen. Like when you told me they said he snatched the the paper from Jody.
Hmm.
That
That's what
never
we're doing.
happened. I even asked a couple people, like, "Am I tripping?" They're like, "No." I
Hmm.
do want to say that I think I mentioned somebody told me that those gunshots were assimilated, but I asked her again because somebody went live and they were like, "They got plants in the courtroom." Somebody told me they're simulating the bullet shots are simulated, and I know that's a lie. And da 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 da. And I'm like, "Wait, I'm not a plant." He's talking about me. I'm like, "Wait a minute."
Right.
I had just heard that. And I told him because he was asking me if there was a pause in between the shots. And I was like, yeah, there's a pause after the third shot. He was like, no.
Right. You said that day one
He was
when
like,
they
no.
opened.
He's like, no, there was no third, there was no pause, there was no pause. But then when we went into court, they played the audio and there was a deliberate pause. And I looked at him too. He looked at me too. And he was like, okay,
Yeah, you
But
reported on that. You reported on that day one of opening
yeah, but he
arguments
doesn't.
when it
He
was
has his
played.
own channel. He doesn't listen. He had this. This is a content creator of his own right.
Oh,
So
okay.
he doesn't know what I'm talking about. But when I tell you face to, when you ask me something, I tell you, like, I'm not gonna just say he doesn't know me though. That's the thing. But
Mm.
this same person, we were talking about that. I just kind of said, oh, I just heard those are simulated shots, actual Ring doorbell, like we thought. And he was like, what? That's just what I heard, which was actually the person who got bamboozled by their company. So now I'm wondering where did,
I
because
don't
I
even
asked
know if they would be allowed to play assimilated
audio.
audio in a courtroom. That I don't even think that would be allowed. I think that breaks all kind of rules. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, well, I don't think, because I don't remember them saying whether this was a ring or this. Basically they played them in opening arguments, like they said Dan's bitch and played that audio like right away, like, so
Hmm.
that was kind of like what. And then I started hearing, oh, that was a ring doorbell, it was a ring doorbell or home surveillance, I think is what they said. But when I she just said it on her own when we were talking about, she's like, oh, those are simulated shots though. And she's so authoritative, I just took her word. But then I just questioned it. So I asked her, I texted her, like, we were texting each other down the hall from each other. But I'm like, so who told you about the simulated shot? She's like, well, I don't know. I just thought there would be video if they had the audio. Wouldn't there be video? I'm like, no, not necessarily, because the ring doorbell or the surveillance audio doesn't not necessarily. They gave us the address, I think, actually. I'm sorry. I think they did early on. I mentioned that I need to look at my notes. I remember now. But it doesn't matter. The house, wherever the audio surveillance came from, doesn't, if there was audio, doesn't mean this was anywhere where the video would have picked up, because gunshots ring through a neighborhood.
Yeah, and it happened at the end of a drive or in the street where it happened at, not in, some people's um cameras are pointed that far out, some are not, some are more pointed to the doorway. So if they didn't show the visual that went with the audio, if they had it, that was their choice. They wanted the effect of the gunshots, and as an effect, a gunshot, it makes it real. The audio makes it real. And I'm glad you emphasized 5 shots, because that goes back to that word willful intent, right? Which is under that charge, that's what the question was about, right? That first charge. I think you said it was assault with a firearm. That was the first charge. So
Mm-hmm.
that willful thing is an element of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you think of that word willful, all right, willful, it doesn't require that they show intent to injure. They don't have to show that it was an intent there. They don't have to show that it was not an accident. All right. If the defendant willfully, with the assault with a firearm, if he willfully did that, we can say that he did after shot 1. That's willful. 5 shots. That's willful. And they don't have to prove that intent.
So then the question would be, what would be that versus with intent?
Yeah, because the question has something to do with define willfully and define on purpose, right?
On purpose.
So
okay.
if you're going to define willfully,
on purpose is right.
Yeah, because just think about that. If there's 5 shots, I think we can say there was some definite willfulness on that defendant's part.
So, okay, so on purpose versus willful. You said what? Now I heard you say about the willful, but on purpose.
They wanted the definition for willfully, and then on purpose.
I'm asking you though, like you were speaking on willful, but tell me about on purpose. What's the difference?
Well, on purpose means that there's no question about, there's no accident. It's not an accident. It's not there is a decision made that I'm going to shoot this person. All right. It's not a surprise. It's not maybe. There's no delay in thought. You did this. You meant to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the repeating of, doing it 5 times, and I don't know, because I'm laughing because I did hear you reiterating about describing the prosecutors milk toast, French toast, and then avocado toast. So we got an avocado.
I was trying to what else can you put on toast? I mean, I know it's a lot of stuff.
Right. Cinnamon toast. Maybe you needed some flavor. Maybe you need some cinnamon and some sugar.
Some people, I don't know. But yeah.
So
Keno, do you want to come up and speak? He's like, no proof, TORY shoot, and 5 shots is different from 3 shots. A pause.
Okay, but
how is it different when he emptied the clip? So that's 5 shots. I mean, they all came from the same gun. So are you saying there's 2 different guns now? Hey,
you know what's interesting to me? The only way that the defense could get around TORY didn't shoot, because you said homeboy Madison, whatever his name is, okay, mob man, whatever the defense. I don't mean to discredit him. I'm just trying to think of his name. All right. The only way, because he called out Kelsey, he tried to prove and insinuate to all degree that Kelsey fired the gun. But they had Kelsey on the stand. All right. Kelsey said she did not shoot. Right. Megan said TORY shot me. Goddess, you've explained for people that can't seem to comprehend the DNA about the exclusion. and stuff. Okay, you've explained that numerous times. All right, so if it, the only way that the defense could get around that is for TORY to say, "I did not shoot Megan."
Yes.
That's it. All this other, and we know that it is the prosecution's, they have to prove, okay? They have to prove it. There cannot be any reasonable doubt or you got to quit, right? But where's the doubt? The witness said TORY shot me. The person that you all are claiming shot Megan was on the stand. She said, "I didn't shoot Megan." So where did the defense put without a reasonable doubt that TORY didn't shoot her? She damn sure, like you said before, guys, she didn't shoot herself.
Well, they're
So the only
using
way
the
to
fact
answer that was TORY.
they're saying that there's inconsistencies in her test, that she lied. Basically, they're calling her a liar. They're saying, how are you going to believe her and not this guy? And this is just yet goes again about the whole, black women.
Whatever she said prior, I'm gonna tell you something.
In the audio.
Whatever she said,
Evidence.
right? Whatever she said, on her live, whatever Megan said and stuff, she wasn't on the stand. Okay, when Kelsey was questioned, Kelsey had to tell the truth from that audio in September. So if you want to say who lied, for all that matter, TORY came out on live and been lying. So what's the difference with TORY lying before court and he still ain't got on the stand, and Megan lying? Megan's interpretation and Megan felt, and her perception is hers. She felt that her and Kelsey didn't fight. Who knows? For all we know, Megan might have done whooped the girl ass before, or Kelsey done whipped Megan's ass before. That's how they get down. We don't know that. So if Megan said we absolutely didn't fight, maybe her idea of fighting is knock down, drag out, fight. Megan was on the stand. That was the opportunity. So anything about the other little lies she done told, and they played her live, they played, the evidence, the text messages, this and that. It really matters is when she's on the stand. That's what counts. Did she lie on the stand?
Well, I mean, she said that she wasn't involved in any arguing. She said that she and Kelsey did not fight. She said that, what else did she say? That she didn't go back to Kylie's house, that when she left for good. There were some things that she said that contradicted, things that Kelsey said.
Right.
So Kelsey also lied, or she avoided speaking. I don't know. Yeah, I guess she did lie by saying
she lied.
She didn't remember. She didn't know this, that, and the other. But in audio from September, she and Megan had similar story or narrative about the fact that TORY, because both of them said TORY shot Megan.
That's right.
That's why we're here. We're not here about Kylie's house. We're not here about who slept with who. We're not here about jealousy, because it's very clear to me after the shooting when Megan and Kelsey are in the back seat of that vehicle where all that blood was dripping and dropping all over. She was laying her foot over Kelsey.
Yeah.
She and Kelsey were those best friends, got right back together, and they were both being brutalized, by this man. I'm sorry. It's just what I see. That happened. It was an event, an incident, whether it was intentional or the drunk or whatever he was smoking that was sizzling, like August said, that his sizzling.
And Goddess, those pictures that were shown in court, that's what the jury saw. So a lot of these people who are saying, Megan lied, Megan this, Megan that, they weren't in the court. Again, y'all didn't see the bloody pictures. Y'all didn't see the doctor get up there with the MRI or whatever, his medical reports, all these things. Okay? Megan had has fragments still to this day in her foot. They didn't see the images. You just talked about how, queasy looking at the feet, that makes you.
It's
Okay. So
disgusting.
we cannot, there is a difference, like you said, we started this live, being in the courthouse, in court, versus, not being in court. The jury seen and witnessed all this. The jury heard Kelsey's audio. Like, again, I will go back and state this again. The only way that defense mob man could prove, to whatever degree, because he doesn't have to prove, but instill a reasonable doubt, is for TORY to have gotten up there and said, I didn't shoot Megan. Where's the proof that Kelsey did? Why didn't the attorney speak about all the things that proved Kelsey shot Megan?
Because
It
there's
wasn't
no
a
proof.
mistake.
There is no proof that Kelsey shot Megan, and there's less. Well, if there is any indication of it, there's very much less of it than TORY. So
Let's ring the bell on that right
and
there.
why didn't? And where is Quan? Quan must have somehow, the prosecution. If he was going to offer up anything that they were going to be able to do with a cross exam, because that's what they would have had to do.
Right.
They would have probably made sure he took the stand somehow. I mean, I don't understand why he was turned away. So I guess he didn't support either party for some reason.
He brought more danger to their case than he did to prove their case. That was a decision. They were set to go with him, but there's some shit that happened back where he told them whatever, and they knew to put him up there was a mistake. Did the prosecutor say in their opening that he would be on the stand, the driver would be on the stand?
I don't remember if they mentioned Quan. I would have to look at my notes, but
right.
I know they mentioned Corey Gamble.
The prosecutor, not the prosecutors.
The prosecutors mentioned Justin.
Okay, so they fell through there then, because everything that the prosecutor said in their opening, even though we know the openings and the closings are not evidence, but still, it's their job to paint a story. And as I was listening to you describe Mob Man on his closing, I agree. He was all over the place. That man is too good of a defense attorney that he didn't plan that by design. He wanted to scramble and go all the way around. He didn't do that just off the wall. He had to throw everything he possibly could against the wall, because he just needs one thing to stick, and he needs one juror to stick with it. So he, by design, threw everything he could. The thing about, one more thing, I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk too much. The other thing that you mentioned too about Dance Bitch, the only way to not prove that is, again, who was there between Dance Bitch? Nobody heard it. Well, then we go down to TORY versus Meg versus TORY. Okay, you can say no. Oh, Kelsey, did you hear it? No. All right. The neighbor, can't think of his name. Did you hear it? No. Well, who else would have been able to say no? I didn't say that. TORY. The defense promised some stuff. Didn't they mention Kylie and Corey?
I'm sorry, I was looking at the chat because I feel like M and N talking to each other about how like Kelsey did it, but she's gonna get off because the LAPD didn't do their job. Kelsey did not. So you feel like Kelsey pulled the trigger, 8.5 pounds of force, pulling that trigger, pop, 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 and we already know she ain't about that life. She is not. No, she. I'll just have to laugh at the thought, and she's such a little thing.
I think she is about that life, because I look at who her husband is. She is about that life. That whole 1501 connection, that's a lot. That
does not mean that she's out there shooting people.
Well,
When I
that's
say
true.
about that light, I mean talking about the streets. She is not from
Okay.
the street. She's not no
Right.
street person like that.
Right.
That you know what
Okay.
women girls like bad boys. Come on now.
Yeah. Okay.
She ain't about that life. No, she ain't. I mean, she might be barking, but at the
Right.
end of the
That's what
day,
I think. There you go. She has her mouth. Her mouth is big. She got a big bite on her. That I believe. Her and Megan are best friends because we already know Megan got a mouth on her. So yes, her
yeah,
mouth.
I
Mm-hmm.
said bark, not bite. You said bite. I don't know that she bites, but all I will say is, and that listen, this whole thing is ridiculous. Like this should have never happened. I blame Kylie Jenner. I do because I feel like them damn them Jenner Kardashians are responsible for a lot of black people's torment and demises. I don't know. I just feel like leave us alone. Like,
They
why
had the
are
black
y'all going over
cauldron
there?
over there in the cut behind the bar at the pool. They had that cauldron boiling, child. No,
Driver, okay? So I guess they just like. Let me see. Let me look. The driver came to testify, but the prosecutor is talking about they need a whole week, so they can't question him, and the judge denied it. So the judge didn't want to go. Yeah, that was the story. Because it's the holidays. People have plans. I mean, in my opinion, justice, there's no holidays in justice. Like this holiday has to wait. I
yeah.
mean, this thing, you shouldn't have scheduled it like this then. Why would you think you were gonna have this done before Christmas? I don't understand. Like, it's been barely 2 weeks at this point. Um,
They pushed through though. He didn't let it lollygag, right? And the fact that the jury, you like you said, the judge gave them the option that they could table it, but they also had what you said. The judge said y'all can't go on social media, you can't look at news sites, all this stuff. You
yeah,
got your
but do you
family
believe that
member. Them families know their jurors. Like how they
yeah,
gonna
but
get to Christmas dinner?
do you think they're going to adhere to these rules? I mean, if you were on the jury, I mean, I know me personally, I'm going to just say this. I don't know if I could, if I might forget and be like, let me hop on Twitter real quick or whatever.
You'd have to go. I would be thinking I couldn't do it on my devices because they might have my IP address. Like I don't trust the government. I'm telling you. Like to me, I know they ain't. This isn't like a spy rises to the level of espionage or nothing. But I'd be thinking they don't put something on the wall, child, and everything that come in and out the house on the internet. No.
Well, listen, I just want to say that people want to ignore. I don't know. Listen, I don't know Tory Lanez or Daystar Peterson at all, but I do know that he has a pattern of
Yes.
violent behavior.
Yes.
So when you talk about, you know, the situation and then you discount, you don't consider this, that just tells me you don't want to know, you don't want to face what really actually happened.
Yeah.
You don't
It's
want to, you just
fanning
don't want
out.
to hear it.
Yes.
Like, how is it that this person, and I've said this before, but I'm just saying, like, he's not a citizen yet. He has
Right.
so many charges. I know men who have not had these many chances
Me
to
too.
fix himself before he actually got some time. But this man has money. He clearly is, very comfortable with throwing it around to make his situations ease up.
Hmm.
The whole thing that came up about his baby's mom with this whole diversion thing versus probation.
Goddess, are you there? Hello. Well, I think Goddess,
It was like,
you might be on
yeah, Tori
mute.
loves guns.
Oh,
Tori
we
loves
probably
guns.
we didn't hear you guys. Were you on mute?
No, can you hear me
Well,
now?
oh yeah.
I didn't go anywhere. I do see my
Okay.
microphone. icon at the bottom here flashing. I don't know. I mean, it had popped out and popped in. I didn't
Yeah, I
touch
think
anything though. I haven't. My hands aren't even on the computer, so I don't know. It's the end of the. This is the last retrograde of the year, y'all. So
okay.
and I was having issues yesterday too. So we're gonna have to
Right.
just get through. Oh, for like a minute, I was saying some good shit, man. Damn. Basically, okay. Let me think. Don't just let me get this real quick. Okay, we were talking about. Okay, so yeah, I was talking about the fact that Tory has this past,
Right.
and I was talking about the fact that he's not a citizen, and I've known
Hmm.
black men who live in LA who would never have gotten away with not one of them charges probably without getting locked up, let
Yes.
alone a whole laundry list of them. So he, in my opinion, has been paying his way off through stuff and bribing and intimidating and threatening people. We have these people have disclosed this information. You know, if you go look up Dax, the interview say Dax versus Tory Lane or something like that, you'll find it. He interviews about it. He's not mad about it, but he tells the whole story. This man invited these guys. Oh, but I was going to tell you about the DJ. That's what it was. So this DJ told this little story about
Wait,
Tory.
wait. Finish out the Dax thought. It tells us a
I was
story
just gonna
about
say
what?
you can look up Dax. You can look up Dax and see what happened with Tory.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
it.
All right.
So with regard to this DJ, I don't know which DJ it is. It's a big DJ, like what is that one guy's name who I don't like?
Envy, like DJ
Most of
Envy.
no, it wasn't Envy, but the other one, DJ. It's not the same station, I don't think, or maybe it is, but he comes on by himself. I think it's a big guy. Dang, I can't think of his name. But anyway,
Academics.
no, no. Is he on the radio? Is he on the radio? Is he even a DJ? No.
DJ Academics. I don't know. Did he ever
Do not
DJ?
ever bring that man's name up on my channel. I'm just like, you saw the
Mute, mute.
video. Okay, yeah. So you know what I'm talking about. But what I want to say is about this DJ. So he mentioned that Tory and his bodyguards were at the station. He had come on, and when they were leaving, they said there were some guys standing around their vehicle, and one of the bodyguards, I guess he was pulling out his piece, like, let's just make sure. And Tory was like, let me hold the gun. He took the gun. Let
Mm.
me hold it. Like, that's a gun happy person. I know about gun
Yeah.
happy people.
Yeah.
I had to break my son out of that when he was a real little boy. Like, he was little boy. He always was obsessed with guns. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
his dad was shot and killed. So we're not doing that. And I don't
Yeah.
even know where that came from because I never maybe video games or TV or something, but
For sure.
I had to definitely break that because that's a mindset. Like once you get it in your mind, and if you entertain the kids with it, if they want it and you go, yeah, sure, it's just a toy. No, like
Yeah. It desensitizes them, and that's why you see so many our young men killing each other, and then they stand, we watch them in trial, and they have this glazed look on their face, like, how did I get here? It's
no,
real.
not Charlemagne, not Vlad. He's black. I mean, it's not Charlemagne, but God, it's not Envy. Ebro? Maybe it's Ebro. Is there an Ebro?
Ebro's from NYC.
I think it's him.
Okay.
But it was a DJ, and you could probably look it up. DJ, I don't know if I find it because it's interesting to hear him say that. He was kind of laughing it off, and he was talking about that story because of this. He was like, "Yeah, everybody knows Tory loves guns." One time, he told the little, and I'm like, "Yeah, he loves guns. It makes him
Yeah.
feel good, probably, to have a gun because he's a little guy, and I hate to keep saying that." But Napoleon complex is a real thing, and he also has a God complex. And so when
Yeah.
he puts those two together, it's a dangerous cocktail, as you can see.
Yeah.
Again,
And
again,
and
wait.
he oh
Finally, he is Kylie Jenner's fault. Okay, go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say that, well, you were already speaking on that, but he definitely, and I think we talked about it. He kind of, in the terms of the music game, blew up relatively quickly. From being a minor known R&B artist to boom, he was in it. He was part of the whatever you want to call it, part of the system with the music. Blew up quick. So with his
You want
pink
to say
suit
he
on, he
blew
had his
up
pink
though?
suit on. Why do
What is
artists?
wait a minute, wait. What is blew up when you say blew up? What do you consider blowing up?
I mean that he got to be well known relatively quickly
By
for.
who? Because everybody that's, I mean, maybe it's, and even these are some of these people are kind of young. Because I'm like, I was going to say maybe it's an age thing, but no. A lot of people don't know who he is. This actually put him more so on the map than he was before. And it's not a good look, but I mean,
Well,
he
he
has
had quite a few
not to
songs.
say,
Chris
not to say,
Brown, Drake.
wait a minute, not to say he doesn't have fans, not to say he don't have, because not to say you can trust these numbers, but he does have a lot of followers if you believe the numbers. But as far as artistry goes, he's not. When I hear blow up, I'm thinking like Megan blew up. Like you can't dispute
Mm-hmm.
that. But I don't see blow up because somebody was arguing. I would say not arguing, but they were talking to me on, I think it was on Twitter, about the fact that he was blackballed. And I said, well, to be blackballed, doesn't that mean that you're on in the first place? And not to say he's not on, that's not, but what I mean is like to the level of you had it all and now you lost it all and you can't get back in. I don't, that's not what I see with him. But everybody's perspective is different. I'm in a whole different, it's just a different, it's different. It's a different outlook. But I don't feel like blew up and then now all of a sudden he's locked out, like because he went independent. He was supposedly been independent since what, 2020, when he left Interscope, or when his contract ended, or whatever the case was. And then he did get very popular with his quarantine radio, right? So the pandemic served him well. But with regards to his artistry and people knowing him, I mean, maybe it's a demographic thing, but anyway, I'm not going to argue it anymore. I just wanted to question because the way you said that, I was
Yeah,
just,
he blew up from a relatively unknown, low key. He had the one hit as an R&B, and then within 3 years, he's on the map. He was with Chris Brown. He's with Drake. He's dropping album after album. They going like no,
well,
like
that was
number
his stable
one.
affiliation, and then so is that when Megan told him that he didn't have nobody would know him if it wasn't for was it Jack Harlow that she said? I can't remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But nevertheless, I don't, again, I've been
Right.
doing music thing. I've been doing a lot in music, and I've seen artists quote unquote blow up. I don't. I
Mm-hmm.
see him with a. The reason I say that is because he's been around for a long time, like a decade at least, 2012, something like
I
that.
didn't know it was that long. Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's been around for a long ass time. That's what I mean by I feel more. It was like a slow and steady progression. But when you
Okay.
say blow up, you made it seem like it was overnight. That's why I was questioning it because he's been around
Well,
for.
I meant overnight as far as in the music game over a span of 3 years or so. He definitely got out there and was on a lot, a lot of hits, a lot of music. So it's all in perspective. But
Yeah, but
anyway,
if he was on Interscope, then if you have a label that has those those connections, those that's what labels are for. And now that he had that, then yeah, why not go independent? I'm definitely renew no contracts if I already have my audience and I have enough momentum to where I can do this on my own, because nobody wants to share anything with a label. When you on a label, you the last man that's getting paid and the last man being considered for things, even though you're the talent. So he was definitely smart in keeping himself independent, if that is the case. I think I heard him say he was distributed by Warner Brothers, but which is a partnership, I guess. But yeah, he is definitely more known now. And I guess again, it's maybe a demographic thing because the people that I'm hearing, obviously, it's at court, so like the age ranges are different, but also there's a lot of women who are supporting Megan who don't know, these women, they don't know him. So it could be because I notice a lot of his fans. I mean, there are women who are supporting him for sure. There's a couple at the courthouse I'm actually cool with, but way more men. Like I see Tory as a part of the manosphere, to be honest. That's how
well,
I view
most
him.
definitely, he definitely. has a ego, and part of that manosphere. You know what? I meant to ask you too. So the jury wanted the court reporter to actually read all of Sean Kelly's testimony.
Yeah, they want to read the
Wow,
full transcript.
that's significant to me.
He okay. AO said Google says he came out in 2009. That's even longer than I thought.
Mm.
So he's been around for a long time. Because I know that because I was somebody on Twitter was saying something and I had to look him up because they were like, well, he was bigger than Megan because he had this and he had that at this
I
time,
don't
and
think he was ever bigger than Megan. Now that I would never say go that far.
that's what they're trying to say during the time of the incident that he was bigger than Megan.
No, hell no. He would. He ain't never been bigger than Megan. Absolutely not.
So
Like you witnessed when they cleared the hallways and brought May through. They ain't do that for Tory.
yeah,
You were
but that
saying how you all in the hallway with his son. Was his son there today, Goddess?
yes,
Okay, of course.
his son. Well, I mean, he brought him in the courtroom. His son and two other children. Yeah, I mentioned that.
Wow.
But yeah, so I done lost my thought, child. Let me see. He left his record label and went independent. He owns all his masters, and they tried everything to blackball him. Who was they? Just the people, the elite.
He damn blackballed his damn self with his badass temper. And the incidents, like you said, the pattern of his behavior. He blackballed his damn self. Woman beater, woman hater, whatever you want to call it. And it's
Most,
not just women.
mm-mm. Most definitely giving manosphere support. A lot of them didn't support him until this case. That's what I thought. I knew it. I knew that. That's what I'm saying. Because, like, let's see, Tory's been out for years, but this put his name out more. That's why he got so hurt when Meg clowned his career. Exactly, because he knew. So he was in a position where supposedly he was about to sign. First they said it was Apple, but then they said somebody told me it was MTV, and I was like, MTV. But anyway, supposedly he was supposed to be on the verge of signing some big deal when this happened, and he also had spoken out before about Rock Nation calling him, threatening him, and so I guess that's the blackball part. Like he can't because he had turned them down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the word. He wanted to keep his independent. Well, he didn't want to sign with them. Like, and I don't blame him because at this point
Right.
he doesn't need them. Like he is. I
No.
mean, not even just because of the trial. Because I think even before the trial, like I said, that quarantine radio, he had
Mm,
got it was people enjoyed that, and he got more popular. I think because of that. But
yeah.
I feel like at his level, you don't need a label. I wouldn't want a label because why would you want to be controlled? You know what I'm saying? When you already have a built-in audience, you have access, you have contacts, there's no point. So
Right.
a label and this is the problem, is these labels, they get these artists, and then I talked about this with the life insurance policies, and like
Yeah.
these labels need to crumble, just like the whole patriarchy of the music industry is under siege because finally people are starting to be held accountable. And of course, first person I think about is R. Kelly, but I'm
Oh
just
no.
saying
No.
he's being held accountable. I'm just saying it's just time for people to be held accountable for
Right.
crimes they commit and hurting people, and
Yeah, I agree.
hurting people's, not only so Megan here is injured, right? She's now permanently scarred, permanently has fragments in her feet, and now her reputation and possibly her career are at stake at this point.
Yeah.
So for them to argue that she's only gotten glory from this is not true. She
Absolutely not.
already had her, she was already booked and busy. She was
Yeah.
already working, and she worked to this level. So from it just happened it was during that period when this happened that she was literally on the edge of her now like stardom. But because she was famous. Not she was popular, but I don't know that she was until that Beyonce Savage and all that stuff. You know.
Yeah, yeah. And
Um,
walk with Cardi and all that. Yep.
hey Gina, she says, I can tell if Manosphere loves Tory Lanez or hates Meg. It's both, isn't it? I thought it was both. um, so M says he most definitely was bigger than Meg. Meg blew up behind the shooting. Now I don't
Oh
know that she blew
no,
up
I
behind the
don't agree
shooting
with
because
that.
she had to literally. She couldn't even heal right before she had to go out and promote and do this and do that. Like she literally just, how they say, suck it up and you just do it. Like she probably wasn't even ready to start doing stuff because that's what people were, oh, she wasn't shot. She was out on her doing stuff on her feet,
Yeah,
2 weeks
because
later or
they
whatever.
saw her in the club. Yeah,
But this, they don't understand that with artists, this stuff is work.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't really
Absolutely,
want to be in no damn
exactly.
club with their feet shot up. She had to do
That's
that.
right.
There's obligations here on the
Yep,
table. Contracts are
that's
signed,
right.
money has been passed.
That's
You can't
right.
just sit on your ass, feet shot up or not. They
That's
don't get what
right.
they know. That's why people don't want to be with the label. If she was independent, she wouldn't have to do nothing. She could have sat around and healed and got, and then and in the meantime maybe recorded or wrote. Or I don't know if she writes, but
Yes,
I'm
you're
just
right.
saying.
So they say. Yes, you're right.
Do they play his songs on the radio? Because honestly, I've never heard one of his songs. I have no idea. They is cold. Haha. He just became independent during quarantine. Yeah, that was like 2020, right? He was big on IG during quarantine radio, correct? Hey, Miss Della, are these people rappers? I believe he's R&B, right? Megan is a rapper. You know
Hey,
who
Miss
Megan is.
Stella.
Miss Della, you know who Megan the Stallion is. Stop it. Cordaro Gardner, bunch of delusional women in this chat. Forget the case or forget the facts. You guys know more than everybody. Okay. Don't be coming over here insulting my chat now. Nobody's delusional over here. So you didn't really, state your case. You want to come up and speak? All right. I'm still wondering who he tagged along with on the Rock Nation brunch where he met Megan. I know he didn't get invited personally, lol. Maybe that's where they were trying to court him and he said no. Maybe that was then. I don't remember exactly when that supposedly happened, but maybe he was there. Maybe that's where they invite, the next up.
Yeah, exactly. She had on that orange suit. That's that rock. That's that brunch afterward. And
Yeah,
they
they
got a
were asking
picture.
about
Hmm.
Tory being there, but
Yeah,
he
a
could
picture
have.
of him like hunching her booty, and he's got his arms flailed up.
Well, that's from that. I remember that picture. That's from the brunch.
Yep.
That's funny. Let's see. Yeah, I still to this day have never heard a Tory song. From my understanding, he had a deal with Apple coming up because of quarantine radio. Yeah, I had heard rap Apple, and then someone said no. I thought it was Apple, but it was MTV, and I'm like, MTV? What are they trying to do? They seem so defunct at this point. Okay, Miss Della, ain't nobody delusional over here. Come on now. Sharita said leave. Exactly. What you doing over here? You weren't even in nobody. If you think we're delusional, you can keep it moving. Like then don't come over here. It doesn't make sense. Why would you go somewhere where you think people are delusional? Like go to bed. Oh, not you. Yeah, you what are you asking, Miss Della? You want to come up?
Come on up, Miss Della.
Let me drop the link in case anybody wants to come up. You know what I'm saying? That we on verdict watch. What do you think? What do you think the jury's gonna vote? Do you think it's gonna be a hung jury? I still feel like two of these jurors in particular, and somebody in the chat had asked me to talk about the jurors. I'm very leery about discussing the jurors because I don't think you're supposed to like describe them and stuff. Like I know people have done it. Like even the mainstream people have been like digging deep and doing in this stuff. But
Yeah, yeah, because one of those reporters said they asked the defense attorney what was his thought coming out. I mean, what did he have a question for the jury? I'm sorry. And he said, yeah, when are y'all gonna vote NG, not guilty?
who said that?
The defense attorney for Corey.
Oh. Wow. Miss Della.
Hi, everyone.
Hey,
So,
Miss Stella.
hello.
I think I told you that I'm here to support the damn channel, nothing else. I remember the sauce from Popeyes. I'm sorry, I don't know who any of these people are, but I tell you what, your tail been working hard. I'm proud
Child.
of you.
Yes,
So I
he
gotta
has.
come and be supportive of the chat. So I'm gonna go back in the chat and listen. But I mean, so he's that a rap? Look, you can tell me about this lady. Continue on. I'm gonna go back in the chat,
Okay,
but you're
well,
doing a good job. Hey, Miss P.
Hey, Miss Della, miss you.
I
right.
know, sister
I know.
busy.
I know. This is gonna be over. Hopefully by tomorrow we can get back to
No, no,
business.
no. You the God you're doing a good job. I'm proud of you.
Thank
I'm
you. I
I'm trying to
appreciate
catch on who got shot and all
you.
this other stuff. I don't want to offend the chat. You can tell me later.
We will
I
talk.
know
Yeah, we'll
you.
definitely talk this weekend.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
Bye, Miss
thank
P.
you.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
Miss Della.
Bye.
Stella.
The judge, y'all. That's the judge, y'all, in the chat. That's the
Yeah, that was
judge.
the judge. She said because he's a delusional. I mean, yeah, that's right. Who you calling delusional? Wayne, if you came in, check out the replay, leave the comments. Sharita, I did not know that was him on What's Popping. Oh, okay.
With Jack Harlow. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted you to talk about jurors being compromised. Like, what if that happens? Yeah. Um, Doc D Boom, welcome. You can't reverse text messages and voicemails. Exactly. They have audio, they have recorded calls, they have text messages, they have a lot of concrete things. The DNA being inconclusive is not a no. It's not a definite like nope. It's a maybe. So regarding the jurors and being compromised, I do see things that I'm comfortable because you know, gosh, like the cougher. He was like, he had a smile, a smirk on his face when the defense was up there, like a knowing smile. It was a weird smile. I'm like, why is he smiling? And I tried to look more to just make sure that wasn't just his face. Because some people just have certain things they do, they don't even realize that doesn't correlate with what maybe I'm perceiving it as. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to put something on somebody that's not true, but I'm just telling you what I saw. I saw a smirk would look like when the defense was up saying all this stuff that Kelsey did, and then it was like, she sure did. And the other juror, who was an alternate, he literally shakes his head, yep, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, what is going on? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna go back, pour over all the exhibits, and then they have other people they're gonna talk, they're gonna deliberate. And I
Right.
believe people will, when they're deliberating, are gonna know if somebody already has their mind made up, or if somebody is not even considering the evidence and they're still arguing that this person, isn't guilty or whatever their agenda is,
Yeah.
despite what they're seeing in front of them. Now that's gonna be a red flag.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how that works. I don't know if can the foreman go to the judge and say, look, we need to bring these alternates in because we got these two dodo birds in here who are insisting he's innocent. And because I can see somebody saying, well, he may have done it, but they didn't prove it. Where's the proof? Show me the proof and so I don't know. But if you want to go in there and say, well, you know what? He's innocent. He's just innocent. That to me is like, you're not really considering the facts. You're just coming from bias. So
Yeah.
this is why they have jury instructions. And I don't know how they
Right.
enforce the jury instructions, because you give jury instructions, you expect for them to follow them. What I feel like in this case, that you need to be threatened with jail time. If I find out that you did not adhere to these jury instructions, you getting locked up instead of TORY.
Mm-hmm.
If TORY locked up, you getting locked up. No, but let me just see what else
I
is going
know they spoke like former jurors, and I've heard this a lot, say when they get ready to elect the jury foreman, that sometimes they take a vote before they even start the evidence just to get a temperature. I've heard jurors say that before, and um, that's interesting because just human nature. They are probably have formed an opinion in their mind whether they feel he's guilty or not guilty.
Oh, for sure. Um, I'm gonna send this. I'm gonna put this picture up. My Twitter has been blowing up because of this picture. I posted it yesterday, but I guess I don't know. I don't know. Maybe somebody retweeted it. One of the people. But I'm gonna put it up here because I feel like
Is that the one with you, Armand and Millie?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Well, I'm gonna see it in a minute.
You always trying to spoil something. Just chill out.
Oh,
You're so impatient.
my
You know
nature child. Get to it.
exactly. I said that on purpose. The jury don't have to agree. If they feel he's innocent, he's innocent. Ain't nobody gonna feel he's innocent. They're innocent. Just nothing, Keno. Nothing. He has done nothing. Okay. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could say, you know what, I could, because I've heard people say, I did come in thinking he didn't do it, but now, you can't really say he didn't do it. But then there are people who say Kelsey did it. Like, yep, she did it.
Well,
But
I was talking with Keno in the chat last night, and I remember him saying something about Tory was going to be found not guilty. And I asked him, was he sure about that? And he was pretty sure. So I wonder, did did Keno already have that opinion going in? There's no possible way that Tory is guilty of nothing, like you were just saying, Goddess, or listening to some of this court, the trial, and everything. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed your mind or raised your eyebrows about this trial because it's I'm just curious, Mr. Keno.
people are willfully, blind and deaf and all of that. Passion said, I think Tory Lanez was at the height of his career in 2016. That's when he sampled Brownstone's song Say It, which was
Yes.
which was played on the radio over and over that year, 2016. Where do
Uh,
what city are you in, if you don't mind, or like what regional area are you in? I'm curious. Um, it's too much reasonable doubt. Yes, either hung jury or not guilty. Okay. Well, we gonna see.
I agree, Miss Passion, that Say It, that remake, that did blow him up. That was the song. I can never think of the title, but that's it. That's the one that blew him up.
Why would two ladies trying to party and have a good time bring a weapon? I can't imagine that, but I can imagine a black Escalade truck with a gun and driver. I mean, Tori, come on now. Like, we know good and well Meg and Kelsey didn't have a gun. At Kelsey's, where all that security, they said there was 6 security guards when they tried to go back in before they could be let in. Not to say I don't know that they searched them or anything, but I'm just saying, ain't nobody gonna be.
6? Goddess had 6 security guards outside Kelsey House?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Now, I don't
Damn.
know if there was at the gate, because I believe she's in a gated community, but she may also have it on her property, have them also on her property, which they probably have to, because I'm sure there's a lot of lunatics out there
Yeah.
who are on stalk mode. Somebody said they're on demon time over at Kylie's. Like, when they say reasonable doubt, they mean reasonable, not a little bit of doubt. And they also tell them to only consider reasonable evidence or reasonable, testimony. Like, everything has to be reasonable. Yes, say it louder. That song was played everywhere. I was in Arizona. Okay, I don't remember it. 2016. I was trying to think, where was I? What was I doing in 2016? I don't. Oh, 2016. I don't remember. It's all a blur. New York. Oh, you were in Arizona at the time of that. Okay. Are you in New York now? Y'all are staying up late for me? Oh, YouTube love warrior. Well, listen.
Oh, you gonna show me some love now.
I've been showing you love. Listen, you know how I'll be when I have a point. Don't play.
Cause I heard you about them timestamps, and I used to do them timestamps for you.
I know you did. What happened? What happened? Why you stop? Why you stop? You want me to pay? They said, the person said you need to pay. I was like, yeah, okay, like, sure, thanks for letting me know. So I'm like, okay, well, who gonna do it? Because I'm not gonna do it. I don't even like listening, but I do need to listen back because I need to start making clips and putting them on my shorts and stuff. Like I've been
Mm-hmm.
saying that, but it's just so hard. But maybe tomorrow, since I have all damn day. I mean, I hope it's not all damn day that I'm waiting for this verdict, but I will be waiting around in a hallway. I gotta
So
remember.
y'all gonna be y'all. I heard you say that you guys can't go into the courthouse while you're waiting, huh?
No, we can't. I mean, the courthouse, yeah, not the courtroom.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
we're gonna be in the in the corridor of the court, where the department is. So
right. Well, you
yeah.
definitely got to be down there because we're gonna be checking the channel and Twitter and Instagram, everything like shit all damn day looking for an update.
I know. I was like, shoot, I need to go live on my own channel with the when the verdict comes in.
Oh, that's right. Bring
But
it on.
no, I'm gonna finish out with conscious like I've been doing because I like to be consistent and I like to be right. I ain't gonna do him like that. Be like, I'm gonna do everything
Right.
but the verdict. You ain't gonna get the verdict.
Yeah. Right. Right. That's
Let's
that's
see.
right.
Sharita,
That's
well,
right.
they just gonna cause a mistrial and he'll have to be retried. That's what I was gonna say. With the hung jury, don't they have now an opportunity? But who wants to do that? I know that the first things first. They need to replace. Well, Ta isn't bad, and I wouldn't say Alex, the other DA, the man. He's not a bad DA. He's just seems to like he's kind of green to me. Like he's so nice. He was even trying to help the defense with the video screen when they were doing their argument because he couldn't
Mm.
make it work and he tried to help. He was like, "No, I got it. Like, get out, get away from me." He
Well,
because he even pointed to him when as you probably heard when I read the argument, the closing argument, that it was him that said that. Like he's the villain. He had to make the prosecution the villain, so it wouldn't look good for him to let him help him with something.
oh yeah. Right.
Yes,
Right. But then you already told us that they're level B and level C, you know, district attorneys. But
yeah.
definitely after this case, they will have got a big notch on their belt. If
If
they
they
win, if they win, yeah,
If they
I
don't win, then I don't know.
they might be
So he
looking
knows
for a
that's
job.
what
No, I
they
might
do.
be
Yeah.
looking for a job.
Can you explain jury pay and Kylie? Is it worth it to wait Tuesday to Tuesday? Jury pay is nothing. I mean, barely. I don't even
It
know.
don't even cover lunch. Y'all,
Barely.
he got his cash out.
I remember when the last one I did, because they never let you off if you have to work. They don't care if you have a sick person at home you have to care for. Well, you need to get a relative. Like it's like God, I can't I reschedule? But anyway, I just remember getting the money later. It came in the mail like 2 months later. It was like $50 or something like that. And it was how many days? There's much a day. Like how much is it a day? I don't remember.
Well, y'all don't want to know what it is in Florida. Y'all wouldn't die laughing. It
I
don't
have to
even cover
check it.
lunch.
Y'all could
They-
Google it. I don't know, but it ain't nothing. It's hardly anything. It's not. It's definitely not worth coming back on Tuesday when Christmas is Sunday. People are in holiday mode. We got the New Year coming up. People are traveling. Family is visiting. Like no one wants to come back and deal with this trial on no damn Tuesday after Christmas. So
Having that negative energy over their head, just carrying that energy with them that long, that unknown energy is not good for nobody. Got to tie it up and be done with it. That's why I'm so proud. Inside, I feel like not proud is the wrong word. That's why I was so excited to hear that they were going to continue, you know, through tomorrow because I'm sure that they just about tired of it as we are and want to get through it.
exactly. Elite said, "Hi, Elite Leo, welcome. Jury pay is like $10 a day or something super low." Yeah, I was gonna say like, is it? I couldn't remember. Is somewhere between 5 and 15? I was gonna say because I just
Yeah, 15
yeah.
here in Florida. Yeah,
Gina said,
pitiful.
"Oh, they gave us $40 a day in New York." Oh, I know it's not that for sure. It's definitely not that. I may be exaggerating saying 10. I was gonna say that sounded a little. It might be like 750. 750 an hour. Isn't like the minimum wage is like what is that now? It's different in different places, huh?
I think in Florida it's something like 15.50 an hour, something like
Yeah, I
that.
think it's something like that here. I know it's gonna be going up to 20 and it was it was mapped out over time. Like it's going to be this year, then by this
Oh
time,
yeah, that's
yeah.
right.
So, but by that time, it's going to cost the cost of living is going to go up
Well, that's what they've done.
even
That's
more.
what they've done. That's why groceries and gas and everything else has went up because they're gonna make you pay one way or another. Oh, y'all want more? Y'all want more money an hour? Okay, y'all gonna pay more. If you're
Basically,
renting an apartment, anything like that.
yeah. I mean, everything is going, and I don't know. I just feel like we got this new presidency coming. And, we've got a lot of things happening here. So,
Right.
with regard to this case, it's very sad and unfortunate. I probably wouldn't feel as bad for Tory if I hadn't been seeing him for 2 weeks. Like I feel like he's like a relative, like a cousin or even a brother who is a younger brother or cousin who is just bad and just went too far. Like, but they're like a good person, not a good person. They're not bad. It's just you just
Well, because
drink
it's
too much and
personal
you
to you
smoke too
now.
much.
Seeing them, it's not. It's abstract. When you see the person every day, it reminds you that it's real life. This is a
I know.
real
That's how I
thing.
feel because I'm like,
Hmm.
man, 22. No, I don't feel like he needs to get no dang 22 years. I mean, I feel like
No,
that's
no.
that's excessive, but I do feel like something like you know what I'm saying? It's too bad they didn't have
Absolutely.
a charge that was maybe like a 2-year charge or something like that. Just
Right.
something where he could do is 2 years, but you only serve 6 months and you do the rest on something like that. I don't know.
But
And
I
then
don't even know.
you go back to Canada because that is going to be on period.
That's the kicker for me too, God. Is that third charge that they added with the deportation? That's it for me. Like that would really be like to him probably would equal doing 10 years, right? I mean, to be deported back to Canada, even though the world is much smaller, it
Tay
seems
said he
much
put that
smaller.
charm. He put that charm on the leprechaun charmed me. Oh Lord. That's why he wore that cologne today, because I don't know if it was him or Pops, but somebody smelled damn good. I was like, ooh, that smell. I love that. I wanted to ask him, like, because I got to get my son some cologne, child, like yesterday for Christmas, because he always wants a cologne. And I
Why
want to,
that artist drew him up that picture of him with his legs crossed with that suit on like that?
and he had his toes pointed like a ballerina. I was like, why did she draw him like that? He didn't even sit like that at all. I never saw him with his
Oh
legs so
man,
like.
that's terrible.
I mean, I wasn't. Let me, and it's funny because I was literally right behind, almost right behind him. But I don't remember. I do remember he would turn his chair because before he was sitting more forward and just turning his
Uh-huh.
head. He did turn his chair more so towards the, where they were speaking from, which was in front of the jury. But
Mm.
I don't know, and I don't know who said he fell asleep because somebody asked me that again today. I'm like, ain't no Tory. Tory's not falling asleep in that courtroom, and his lawyers would not let that happen. I'm telling you, that's a
No,
bad look.
no, that would be a horrible look. That didn't happen. And plus, that's again people like saying they're expounding on their little truths, trying to get traction, lying like that. Because I saw something about that too on Twitter, and I'm like, Tory sleeping during court? I didn't believe that.
No, and Passion said Tory needs inpatient anger management. Exactly. Maybe he needs to be put on a monitor. I mean, I'm just saying, like 22 years. I want to address Megabucks. I think it's interesting that Tory's original lawyer, Sean Hawley, dropped from the case. Maybe it was because Kelsey mentioned her in the testimony in September.
Mm.
From my understanding, Sean Hawley is very much still a lead on this case, even though she's not in the trial. She's still a part of his team. So that's what I was told. I don't necessarily see her working with these guys. However, she would have been a much better look for him, in my opinion, as far as representation.
Yeah, especially being a woman, you know.
Absolutely. A black
There's
woman at
something,
that.
yes, yes. There's something about a woman questioning a woman that would have been favorable to Tory, on the defense.
Keno
Because,
said, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say some of those melodramatics things that Tory's defense did pretty much with that strong type of character like that, people can form a dislike or a like for that. And that's part of human nature. Like some people on that jury probably like him, that braggadocious type of, type of personality. And then there's others that could be offended by that. Even though that's not supposed to be part of the process, we know that those things like that, they filter through.
Yeah.
And I just hope the jury's smart. Like, I have been let down here and there with juries, but I hope that the jury's smart. They're fair. Look at the evidence, and then um, the guideline. I think, like you were saying, is it like two to 20 goddess altogether? He's
2 to 20.
facing
I'm sorry, 2 to 20 what?
years. He's facing
22, I believe. Like 22, is it
max. Wow.
22 max?
And
Um,
and 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 he has to do that because of the federal guidelines. Like if he's found, or the
from
judge
what I
might have to.
understand, yeah, from what I understand, they said that if he gets charged with the third count, it won't add any time on because it's going to be is it concurrent or is it consecutive? I can't remember which one is the one where it doesn't add any more time; it just runs
Oh, concurrent. Yeah.
concurrently. Okay, so yeah, because that last charge is a code 6 years. But if he gets that one on top, it won't increase. It's still going to be 22. It's not going to go any more than that.
So
But
the judge can't sentence him less.
well, if he gets the charge, well, if they have to vote on each count, so they're all separate. So if he gets only one count, he's not going to get 22 years. If he gets, I don't know how much each count. All I know is the third count is worth 6. I don't know how much the other two counts are holding. Does anybody know how much each of the other two counts are holding as far as the time goes? I know combined the two were 22. So
All
I
right.
don't know if it's
So
11,
God is.
11. I don't know if it's, huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, it's like if okay. So the last charge, that's 6 years. If he was to get I'm sorry. If he was to be found guilty on that, can the judge sentence him less than the 6?
I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe. I mean, I think it's a max. Like, so I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. The judge might just do that too. Well, yeah, because the judge is the sentencer. I mean, he's going to consider everything. I don't see the judge. This judge, I don't see him giving no 22 years, like at all. I don't see that. Now, if
Yeah.
the jury does find him guilty on all counts, I don't see how he can get around. Like, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I really don't. I know that the prosecution, they put in their suggestion,
Right.
you know, but yeah.
There's no way that he's gonna get no 20. If he's found guilty, in my heart, I don't believe there's no way he'd be sentenced to 22 years. I don't know. There's people that have killed people, actually killed people, and have gotten less than 6 years.
Yeah, killed, R-worded, especially with Stan culture, the hotties and the Barty gang would have ate Sean Holly butt up every day. Yeah, she might not have wanted to mess with this, with her face. But from what I understand, she's behind the scenes, like telling them, look, do this, don't say it like that. I think managing TORY too, because remember when Kelsey in her audio said that, the audio interview, that when he was asking her, what can I do for you? Can I, did you want this? She said that Sean Holly helped him frame how he was asking her those questions.
Right. Yeah, I remember that.
Mm-hmm. Well, listen, I'm gonna go because I think I might be. I'm trying to think. Tisa had messaged me I'm like every day, but she's in such a different time zone. It's just hard to catch up. But I do want to get that live done with her because this thing is about to be over.
Yeah.
And this is the time to get the commentary out on it because after this, I'm going back to other stuff whatever else is going on in life. I mean, there's so many stories that I was like, oh, what happened? That whole YSL case. I mean, there's so much
Yes.
going on in that.
Yes. Oh
I
my
need to,
goodness.
yeah, I need to catch up with that. My son was telling me some stuff. I'm like, what? Um, so there's that. I wanted to talk and Kiki about Bishop Lamar. What's his name? I won't even say Bishop.
Yes.
What's his name? Lamar Whitehead.
Yeah, yes, that's him. And we must not forget about Shanquilla and the
Of course not.
cable sticks.
The only thing about Shanquella on rumors and this and that, like I'd rather just wait for something concrete because I'm not going to play those investigative games with
Yeah,
Shanquella, you know what I'm saying? So let
yeah,
other people do that. I don't, some people do that. I don't like that. Not for
yeah.
me, not for her, not for that case at least.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm
Yeah,
keeping my eye on it though. And it's not to say we can't
absolutely.
discuss it to say, well, what's the update? But I'm not going to be doing whole long videos and lives
Yeah.
on that. But yeah, good night, everybody. Thank you so much. Shout out to y'all who came over here from Conscious, the crew, and all my warriors. I love you always. And until
Thank
tomorrow,
you.
hey,
Until
and
wait for
make sure you,
tomorrow, goddess.
yes, thank you. And make sure you're checking my socials, Twitter, Instagram, and of course my community wall on YouTube. I post there. I'm trying to post there a couple times a day with updates. Also, listen, I'm on TikTok, child. Try to find me. I'm gonna start doing updates there too, I think, starting tomorrow. But yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.